Hey folks, it's me Dan, and I thought it would be very nice if I uploaded this video tutorial on actually how to make a hand tag. It's one of the assignment for Friday, so let's get started. First things first, you need a wall basically, and I've chosen this one. It's nothing fancy, it looks like a very dirty normal wall, and I've chosen a dirty piece of paper as well, sort of fitting into the rest of the design. I want to go to view, and inside view I want to check rulers so I can see sizes on my image or documents that I'm working with, and you can always go in and edit the preference to centimeters, millimeters, but I myself use pixels. It's a good thumb rule since we are eventually going to work with website design, etc. Next thing, you want to click new guide, and you have the options between horizontal and vertical, and we're gonna use a few of these, so we just check vertical, and you can see now we have this blue thin line. We can drag it to where we want on the image and also outside it, but since we are going to work with predefined size on the image, that's why we need it to be in here. So I moved it to 400 pixels. I click view, new guide, we take another vertical and we drag that to around, I guess 1100 seems fine. View, we'll click new guide, vertical again, we drag this time to 1500, click view, new guide, this time horizontal, and we drag it to around 400 pixels here. View, new guide again, same thing, horizontal, this time we drag it to 800. And for the last thing, we want to check new guide, and again horizontal, and we just choose the center of 400 pixels and 800, which is then 600, because then we have 200 pixels on each side. The reason why we want the center of it is because right now we need to cut our image and make it look like a little hand tag. For the cutting tool, I use lasso tool. You can also use the path tool that we've been introduced today, but I don't like that. So I just click the corners here, and you can see why I wanted all these extra guides in. It's because I want it to be a bit pointy, and I just like being precise. So now we have the shape of our hand tag. I Control C, go back to our image, Control V, and I have the shape of it. This is a huge size right now. We are going to scale it down, but for now it's fine. Some starting options, I'll probably just add some shadow to it, that's fine. And we can also adjust the color a bit, that's probably a good idea. So we go to image, adjustment, we click brightness contrast, and we make it look like it's actually not just being added there like Photoshop, but it's actually for real on this wall. You can do a lot more to it, but right now, I'm just going quickly through it. Image, adjustment, and then levels. I want to adjust a bit the color as well on both sides. I think this looks nice. Okay. Next thing is we want to create a circle, which is going to contain a small leash. And we go to our toolbox up here, and we click this elliptical tool, and you hold shift down to get a nice square. I think around that size looks fine, and we can click delete on the layer, and we can go up to our select, and we can modify, we can expand, and I've expanded by 20 pixels. I think that's okay. And I can go to our foreground color, and I've chosen this red one, bucket tool. I zoom in a bit so I hit the right layer that I want. I click here, and I can zoom out again. So now we create this fancy little hole here, and it also adds every drop, shadows, effects that we've added to the image. So every time we do some adjustment, don't panic, it will just automatically add all the assets that you have chosen. Next thing could be nice to add an image or text. Actually, let's add text first. I I use this page called thefont.com. It has a lot of weird fonts, and I just write in whatever I want and then print screen it and take it into Photoshop and start editing what I want to. So I wrote in orange juice with this fancy type. I'm gonna mark it. Going back to our document, I'm gonna print it here. And since it has all the white in the background, we don't want that, so we just remove it by choosing our magic wand tool here and start deleting all the areas where we have the white, like in between the A and the G's and the O. Then I can chunk up my text as well if I want to make it a bit bigger and place it like in weird locations on the Handtag. So I just mark this, Control C, and then I delete, then I Control V again. So now I actually created 2 layers. So I have one for the orange and one for the juice. So I just click the orange now, start moving that around. I click Control T, expand it a bit. I want it to be a bit bigger, like fill more of this tag as possible. Click OK. I go to my juice, do the same thing here. I'm just placing it like weird. I think that's okay. Yeah, that looks okay. What I want to do now is actually I want to add this orange and juice text to the rest of my main image, which is the wall here. I want it to be in the same color. So I go to my layer 1, which is the hand tag, and in my layer section, instead of normal, I can click different assets that I want to change this image to. So if I click darken, you can see it's trying to figure out what's underneath it, and I want to read all these layers like it's supposed to fit them. But I've tried to play around with the hand tag itself, and it's ruining the image a bit. So for now we just keep it normal, but for the rest, for the orange and the juice, we can actually go in and add the asset multiply. You can see now it actually looks like the text has been added to this hand tag. You can always just play around, see whatever fits your design. Next thing is we want to go with a bit of a logo. So I've chosen this orange juice glass here. I thought it would be very nice. I mark it all. Go back into my image. Oh, sorry. I guess I didn't. No, I didn't mark my layer. That's why. Actually, before we do that, let me just take my magic wand tool, and I want to remove all the white on this image. Might as well just do it in here. It's easier for me. There we go. That looks fine. Mark the entire image. Go back here. You see it's really big, so we have to resize it again. It's Control T. And we just want to put it a bit on the side, like this. You can see like the text orange and juice. It's trying to adjust whatever I'm adding underneath it or in front of it. I think this looks okay. There we go. Now for this orange glass, I can go into the layer settings again, and I can add multiple. And you can see it's trying to add the logo to it. It might be a bit dark, so we can always just try and place or use a different layer setting. So like this linear burn here seems to work fine. You can still see the glass. Now we still have something sticking out of the lines here. We don't want that, so we can go in and remove that. So I Alt and scroll on my mouse, so I get really fine. And I can just move the lines that I don't want, like that. That looks fine, I guess. And now we actually have our hand tag. What we could use is actually a leash and a rusty nail, I guess, something to fit the rest of the wall. So I found this image here, and I only want this. The rest is just doesn't matter. Now we go back to our image. You see, this is really small compared to the rest of it, but it doesn't matter since we are going to resize the hand tag down, so it does not look like it's huge. I want to zoom in. I want to remove all the white on this. just increase the tolerance a bit. Looks sort of fine. It's not my best work, but for now it will work. Oh, sorry. So we can just move this down here. See, now I didn't name my layers, and I'm actually having a bit of an issue. I know this one is my leash, layer 5. We'll just put it down here. And the rest of these layers here, we're just gonna merge them. Oh, we're not. Okay. Yes, we are. Sorry for the confusion. See, that's why you need to name these layers. So this is Handtag. Now we're gonna start resizing this a bit. So we want to fit the rest of the image, like here. I'm going to actual size now. See, it's a bit colorful still compared to the rest of the colors on the image, but you can always just go in and work with it. And this is our leash. So I'm zooming in a bit now, and I'm trying to make it look like the gravity is okay in this one. Probably going and move a bit more of the whiteness here. Now I'm switching the layer position between the leash and the hand tag, so I can see what's inside the circle, and then I can remove it. The stuff that I don't need, like this. Switching back on the layers, there's still something, but it's easy to get rid of. We can move the, oh, sorry for that. Move the layer a bit down. Here we go, so it actually looks like it's there. We can probably drag this a bit more as well. So it's starting to look like something. Okay, last thing is a rusty nail. I found this one, and I'm gonna use my lasso tool again because I don't want anything in on the picture. There's a lot of clicking here, but basically I just want the edge of it. And yeah, when you work with design, keep in mind that you should never be this fast with any of your projects, because it's gonna come off as being not very well presented in the end. So this is my rusty nail. I right click it and select inverse and remove anything around it. I right click it again, select inverse, so I select the shape in the beginning. I go back here and same thing, Control C, Control V, and I have, whoa, that was a bit off there. Let's size it down. Let's zoom in at the same time. I'm gonna make it look really small, and like it's being attached to the wall. We can always go into image adjustment like we did on the other layers. Just make it a bit more dark, adjustment and levels again. Let's see. Yeah, it does. You know, you probably should zoom in a bit more to make it the full effect of it. But I guess that would be a very nice hand tag. At least one way of doing it. I hope you liked it. I at least enjoyed it. So take care, guys. Bye bye.